Today I have a 2001 Ford F150 and I'm going to be changing out the rear wheel bearings on this. I'll show you step by step how to do that. First you have to remove the rear differential plate cover and drain the oil out of it. Once you've loosened all the bolts and drained all the grease out of the differential cover, of course, just go ahead and pull it off. Okay, the next thing you'll have to do is roll your ring gear until you get this bolt right here to where it shows, because you got to pull that out, and then that pin right there, it pushes through. And of course you'll have to move this around to where you can get it out, but that pin has to come out before you can move your axles. And so this is a 3/8 on my truck. And of course the differential bolt were 13 millimeter heads. And so let me go ahead and pull this bolt out. Next step will be removing the brake caliper and this rotor. You want to loosen your caliper away from your rotor. So I stick a screwdriver in here and just pull it back just a little bit. First thing you want to do is remove the brake caliper. This is a 10 millimeter bolt here and here. I'm going to be removing those. Go ahead and remove the caliper and set it up to where it can rest on top of the axle. Now we're going to go ahead and remove the rotor. Once you've pulled the rotor off, you can go ahead and press this in as far as it'll go, and then we can get the Cclip out of the by the ring gear. The Cclip is that clip right there, and you have to roll it around until you can pull it out this direction. I used a magnet to get my Cclip out, and it really helps. Now the axle is free and you can go ahead and pull it on out. I'm using a seal puller I got from Harbor Freight, and you just put it in there behind that and give it a good tug. You're going to need to get a slide hammer and a rear axle bearing remover set. I got these at AutoZone with their basically loaner tool program. Find the one that best fits for you. You'll have to, of course, unscrew this all the way, and yeah, you got to go way down here on the threads. Once you get it in place, make sure you just have it snug. I didn't even tighten this with a wrench. Most people don't. And then I'm going to put the slide hammer on the end of this. Go ahead and clean it really good all the way down, because you may have some metal shavings or loose pieces of broken bearing, even possibly. I got lucky, I don't have that. Got this from AutoZone's tool loan program as well, and it's a bearing and race installer, and I'll use it to drive the bearing back in. Okay, the bearing is in. Now we're going to drive the seal. After you install your seal, you're going to want to go ahead and put some of this oil in here and then spin it around. I need to open this one up. On the tag on the back of your differential cover, it'll show you what weight of oil to use, and this is what my vehicle calls for. This keeps everything from going in there dry. After you've done that, you can reinstall your axle. You can now install your Cclip back in place. After you've put your drive shaft, your axle back in, and I've already done this, but it's basically reverse order of how you took it apart. But sometimes these spider gears back here will give you trouble. They'll try to fall out. Just put one on one side and one underneath on the opposite side, and just they'll roll if you spin this spindle here. It'll roll them back into place. So don't get scared. Just put them both on top and then underneath down here on the other side, and just roll them in, and it'll go back fine. And then you can push your pin in once you get them lined up good, and then you can of course replace your bolt. And on mine, it's a 3/8 bolt. I have noticed on some trucks it's 5/16, even 10mm on some. But anyway, once you get that done, then go ahead and clean the gasket area on the pan and the differential itself, and put your gasket on with your pan and bolt it back up and fill it up with fluid. And so that's how you replace the bearings on a 2001 Ford F150.